What's up? Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is FombyFlutes, and in this episode, or actually video, I will be talking about the college application process to help you get into the music school that you want to get into. So you might be asking yourself, what makes her qualified to know the application process for music school? Well, for one thing, I do have an undergraduate degree from UC Santa Barbara, as pictured here. I don't know if you guys can see this. So yeah, I went to UC Santa Barbara, I got my degree in music, and I also was just accepted into Azusa Pacific University into the graduate program for music education. So I do have a bit of a background on knowing the whole application process for music school. So I thought I'd give you guys some advice, some tips on making the college application process a little bit more easier so you won't be fumbling through what documents, what do I need, in order to make sure you have the right documents for your college application. So the first step is go ahead and research the possible schools that you want to go to. That could be going through their website, reading about music programs that they offer, the courses, the faculty. You can even read Yelp reviews, whatever you need in order to see what college works for you. Before I applied to APU, I went ahead and looked at their website. I went through the program, see what courses they offered. I also looked at their faculty and read about their backgrounds, and I really liked what they offered, and so I thought I'd go ahead and apply. Another thing I did was read through their Yelp reviews, whatever reviews that they had on the internet. Sometimes you have to see the good with the bad. Just take it for what it is. If you think it's a great school, then go ahead and write it down on your list of schools that you want to apply to. Another thing you want to do is actually take a day trip to the campuses that you want to apply to. Go ahead, take a drive, whether it's by yourself, with some friends, with your parents. Go ahead and take that trip and see if the campus works for you. Sometimes it's one thing to see the pictures, but to be on the actual campus is another thing. You want to make sure that the campus and their vibes fit with your vibes. I know it sounds a little hippie-ish, but you want to make sure that it suits your needs, your personality. Sometimes a university might work for some people. Sometimes another person might want to go to a music school like Juilliard. Again, you have to go on the actual campus, go ahead and walk through it. Maybe they might have a little campus tour. Go ahead and research that and see if they have campus tours, or maybe one of the students, like they might have a student associate on campus that can go ahead and take you around and show you the campus. So that's another very important thing that you should do before you go and apply to the college that you want to go to. So after doing your research, you've been on the campus, you toured it, you looked around, the second step is going ahead and actually applying to the college. Now, these days, they have online applications, so it makes it easier. Back in my day, when I was an undergraduate, we actually had paper applications, but since we're in 2016, we now have online application, which makes it way more easier. You don't have to worry about stamps and envelopes. So go ahead and see the link that says application process, or click on this link to apply to the college. Go ahead and click on it and go ahead and fill out the application form. It's pretty much self-explanatory. They'll ask for your name, your address, phone number, major, whatever. It's pretty much data entry. You just fill it in, bam, you're done for now. Now, the second step in the application process is the essay. Now, if you're undergraduate, they will have a topic either on the third, fourth, fifth page, whatever page it is. They'll have an essay topic, whether it's something like, how did you overcome adversity, or something along those lines. It'll give you the topic, and go ahead and switch over to your Word document, or if you want to handwrite it out and then type it, whatever suits you, do it. Just make sure your your writing is on point. They will totally look at the format, if your paragraphs are organized, if it flows well, your grammar, because all of these things are what the university are going to look at to see if you can write. And that's going to help you while you're doing your application in this application process. Now, if you're a graduate student like me, you'll have to do a statement of purpose. Now, statement of purpose is basically, again, it's like a background essay. Basically, you're going to describe who you are, where you are in your career, why do you want to go to graduate school, and what you think you want to study while you're in graduate school. Now, it may vary from university to university. Sometimes they'll go ahead and have a topic or have the guidelines that they want you to write in the statement of purpose. So go ahead and make sure you go ahead and check out their requirements on that university page. So after you've done your amazing essay, your amazing statement of purpose, the third step that you want to do is go ahead and send in your transcripts. Now, when I was filling out my application, I went ahead and ordered my transcripts by the time I finished my application so that they could at least be there at the same time. So make sure you kind of time them together so that they won't get lost and so that they can get your stuff together. Another important thing is make sure you save your receipts or your order confirmation. I've heard horror stories about transcripts getting lost. They didn't have their order confirmation or their receipts to back up that they did purchase them or they ordered them. So make sure you keep all your documents. And this also applies for your application, your fees that you had to pay for the application, anything that's involved in this application process. Make sure you back it up just in case something happens, because you don't want anything to go wrong during this application process. Now, the fourth step is to make sure you have your letters of recommendation. Now, I don't know if this applies for undergraduate, but I know graduate schools, you have to have your letters of recommendation. Make sure you give your teachers, professors, managers, supervisors, whoever is trying to fill out your letter of recommendation, make sure you give them enough time to go ahead and write a really great positive letter of recommendation, because of course they have their own lives, they have grades to fill out, or they're a manager of a company, whatever. You need to make sure that you give them enough time to go ahead and write a fantastic letter of recommendation. Now, with my application, I gave my professors at least 2 months before they had to actually turn them in, so that gave them ample enough time to go ahead and fill them out. However, I did have a problem with one professor who waited till the deadline a little bit, so I was pretty much biting my nails thinking, oh my gosh. But fortunately, he did turn it in. He emailed me back. He said I did turn it in. So the moral of the story is, please make sure you keep on top of your professors, whoever's filling out the letter of recommendation forms. Don't be scared to send out reminder emails, reminder texts, to make sure your documents get in on time, because again, it is your future. This is your time to make sure that you get into the music school that you want to get into. And now the final step to this whole process is going ahead and submitting your application. Yes. This could actually be done ahead, probably between steps 3 and 4, whatever. But just make sure that you went ahead and downloaded your essays or whatever documents are needed in order to complete your application online. Sometimes they'll have like a little download button or upload button, should I say, to upload your essays, maybe letter of recommendation forms, whatever documents that they need. They'll have a upload button there for you to go ahead and submit your essays. But then after that, the final and last page is your submit button, and go ahead and click it. Now, the most important thing is making sure you have the funds to pay for the application fee. Now, when I submitted my application fee for graduate school, it was $45. Again, it might vary from college to university, whether you're undergraduate or graduate. There is some sort of application fee that they need to process your application. So make sure you have the funds to go ahead and pay for the application fee when you submit your application. Now, a little side note, make sure you check for audition dates. It might be on the website, on their programs, on the music programs webpage. If not, check with the dean of music at your school that you want to go to. They'll probably have audition dates listed, or you can call them, email them to make sure that you have the audition date so you can be prepared for the audition, because that's the most important part of the actual application process too, is your audition. I will be addressing auditions in another future video, but since this is all about the college application process, I thought I'd strictly just focus on the application process. But again, I'll address auditions in another video. Also, for graduate students, make sure you check out your programs or your majors additional application requirements. I know for music graduate students or music education graduate students, there are 2 additional essays I have to do for my application. So make sure you check out your majors or your programs webpage, whether it be composition, performance, music education, whatever, just to make sure you have all the documents you need to complete your application. And also, most graduate programs will require an interview. So what? But don't worry, it'll be painless, it's harmless, you'll survive, trust me, you will survive. Basically, they just want to get to know who you are as a person. It's one thing to see all your grades and transcripts, but it's another to know who the person really is. So basically, in the interview, they'll probably ask you a little bit about yourself, what your career background is, why do you want to go to graduate school, why do you want to study music education or composition. Just make sure you go ahead and practice your interview tips. Make sure you dress the part when you go into the office for your interview. It's one thing to wear jeans and a sweatshirt and just be all extra like, what's up? I want to go to the school. No. Don't do that. Go ahead and dress like you would in a job interview. You know, nice slacks, nice shirt, because then that'll also give them the impression that you're really serious about it. And just make sure just be yourself, you know, that's what they really want to see, who you are. Don't try to be some music virtuoso. Don't try to be a diva. Just be yourself, be confident, be calm, be cool, and you'll do just fine. And that pretty much sums up this video of the application process. If you guys have any questions, comments, suggestions, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. I hope this helps. I hope you found it informative. I hope it makes the process a little less scary, maybe a little bit more simpler. Again, any questions, comments, leave them below. If you like this video, click the like button. If you want to subscribe, go ahead and click the subscribe button. And I will see you guys next Monday. Peace out.